Good morning, Sam. That jingle always gets me going. It's a good way to start off the Thursday morning.
Absolutely. It fires me up and it gets me ready to talk,
I
I
know.
just
It's
love
like,
looking at coffee.
yeah, I know. It's a Canva free music, but when I heard it, I knew that was it for coffee chats. I was like, that's exactly what we need. So, um, excited to have you here this Thursday morning. Welcome anybody joining us. If you are joining us in chat, drop a note, say hello. Sam is here today. We kicked Sean out of the meeting. We didn't want him here. We told him to go travel and find a new place to hang out. So
Yeah.
I hope
He's
you're
out
here
getting
too,
cultured.
Sean. Yeah, I hope you're here, Sean, so you can hear us talking about you. But if you're here on chat, join us. Let us know what you're drinking on. Tell us where you're signing in from, and ask questions. It makes it a heck of a lot more fun for Sam and I. I'm super excited about today's topic because it's one thing I always am passionate about, which is startups in the MSP space. And what I'm excited about is we're going to dig into behind the scenes of the application process. We're going to talk about some of these new emerging themes that have come out. And so I'm super excited to get into that. And though this is a mini series, some people joining may not know you, Sam. So give us a quick introduction on yourself and tell us about your role at ConnectWise, as well as your role with PitchIt. And for some of those who are tuning in and maybe don't know what PitchIt is, what PitchIt is.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, if you don't know me, it's nice to meet you all. I'm Sam. I work for ConnectWise. I'm in my third year here, so kind of got a dual role going on. I work with the sponsorship team, so all the good old IT Nation events. That's my side of things, and then obviously what you all are here for is the PitchIt cohort. I run that program with my good buddy Sean Lardo, and it's good to see you, Brett, this morning. So for those of you who don't know what the PitchIt program is, it's basically a Shark Tank style incubator program where we take 20 companies in the MSP space that are looking to get their footing. We put them through some educational sessions with some thought leaders and industry experts throughout the space. At the end, they end up competing for some good cash and prize money at IT Nation Connect and get some exposure along the way.
I love it. I am a obviously proud supporter of PitchIt. I was part of it with my last business, Saslio, and part of it again here with Lemhi. And how we're looking at this program, even as a return founding group, we're adding team members to our company. Yeah, don't worry, Brett. We're going to be here only till 10 a.m. Don't worry. We are or 10 o'clock today. But we are return founders, and we have new members of the team that aren't from the MSP space. And I said this, I think, on the last stream, but I genuinely mean it. One of our co-founders that we added wasn't from the space, and he was worried about not knowing what the MSP world was going to be as he entered it. He's done go-to-market in lots of different industries. And I said, don't you worry. Well, I was hopeful we were part of the program, but I said, don't you worry. If we get accepted into this program, I have a 16-week MBA course for you on MSP. And that's genuinely what I tell people every time I talk to them in the startup in our space. It is worth every time. You will meet so many amazing people. You will build your network all the way. So maybe Brett, tag Keith. Let's just all tag Keith and see if we could summon Keith onto the call. So given that we've got only 20 minutes here today, Sam, I want to jump right in. We know what pitch is. But I want to start digging into the wave of AI startups that have come in. And so you've been around the program for a few years. Tell us what was different about this year as you were going into the application process. I mean, you could take that anywhere you want.
Yeah, absolutely. So, last year we saw a good amount of AI companies. I would say probably 30 to 40% of our applications were AI based. And I totally understand that in the space, and it's an emerging trend. And this year, we even saw probably double the applications coming from the AI space. So now, what we understood when reviewing these applications, we kind of had to take a deeper dive into things. So previously, we want to see that you guys are a little more established. You're making an effort to grow in the space. We want to see posting. We want to see some base establishment. But now with these AI companies, we look into not just that establishment, but also, are you creating your own AI? Is that within your own company, or, lifting, not necessarily stealing, but lifting that from somewhere else that, you aren't necessarily creating that. And it kind of brings it into an interesting situation here. when it comes to reviewing these applications, because we want you to, grow under your own strength there in that sense.
That makes a lot of sense. And as you got those applications in, now I think we brought up the number last time. How many applications came in through the process this year?
Yeah, we had 60 plus applications from about 4 different countries this year, which is exciting to see.
It is. It's an impressive number. It's your highest of the year ever, right? Just keep
Yeah.
going up to the right. Yeah. Um, and so we talked about like AI, but that's a really like I'm just gonna say it outright. It's just a vague term. And so when we look at AI, let's talk about some of those categorical areas that we saw with AI. Like we've got training and we've got a training AI. I know Danny Suck Brown's been working on some amazing stuff around helping sales reps get reps with AI. We have Callan from Synthrio in there doing AI and automation. And we've got a strong cohort of people doing things from all over. So maybe what kind of themes emerged as you were looking into those applications this year? Was it service desk automation? Was it automation for the clients? Was it sales? Like what really emerged as some major categories if you had to pick some out?
Yeah, and I don't mean to go super high level on you here, but what's been great about getting such a larger influx of these AI companies is that they do really touch on every aspect of the company. We have some sales training tools, we have some security training tools that use AI. Like you said, we've got some other ones like Synthrio. It's just the fact that we have been able to and been fortunate enough to see such a large influx of AI companies applying to PitchIt is that we don't really have to pick and choose and say, well, okay, here, we like this sales training tool, and we don't want, we have to leave out a cybersecurity training tool. And that's what's great is that we want, to embrace the AI culture of the MSP space these days, because with these startups, John, you understand you're wearing, 3, 4 hats at once. If this AI can take just, half a thing off your plate, that frees up 3 hours of your time to go do something else. So whether that's the security training, whether that's sales training for your team, and experience in the MSP space on top of this incubator program, you can use these AIs to help establish yourself.
Love it. I'm doing a quick, I always like to make sure I pull in the people here jumping. I did try to tag Keith, but for some reason it didn't pop up. So we're gonna try that again. I apparently don't know how to run my own show over here. But we'll get him in here. And I like what you said, though. We're using AI to do a lot of, and I think there's a lot of misnomer right now where people just throw AI out there when we're really doing automation. But you brought up what I'll call some categorical goals that you have to achieve with AI, in my opinion, today. Like AI has to either help you make money, save you money, or as a result of, saving you time, allowing you to do more tasks. I mean, that's the fundamentals of SaaS, period. But with AI, it can't be AI for AI's sake. So as you're thinking in the startup brain, making sure you're going to somewhere there to be critical, what would you say is dominating this cohort? Like what's a new trend that's like really over present in our cohort? And I know you probably tried to choose some diversity intentionally. So maybe there isn't a dominant one.
Luckily there is not a dominant one, but I will say there are a couple things that I am taking notice to. My generation is known as the TikTok generation, or very very short form, that sort of thing. The attention spans are decreasing these days, unfortunately. But what I'm seeing is that we're using these AIs to reflect, what is popular in the pop culture and media space these days, which I think is very fascinating. And
Okay.
it's a matter of using AI the right way, because you are, as much as we'd love to embrace it, we love to use it to free up time, save you money, make you money. We want to make sure that we're not necessarily taking the human aspect out of it, because that is a major part of sales training. You have to be able to read another human, have that conversation face to face. And while we're not quite there with the emotional intelligence of AI, I think it's very interesting to see how we can implement these short form AIs to make yourself better in the sales space.
Yeah, I like it. I think it's consolidation of information, super, super powerful. I mean, I always say the way that like as managed service providers work, I always call it the galaxy, and it's always ever expanding. The printers that broke and the Wi-Fi routers that broke back in 2008 when I was as a help desk technician still break, but so does the cloud, and so does the cybersecurity tools, and now so do those AI tools. And so being able to take the breadth of information that we as MSPs have to consume and consolidate into TikTok brain style learning is super, super helpful. I think that there's some powerful stuff, especially around the training, but also noise signaling and information signaling around there.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. We've never been more informed as humans. I mean, the just how much information is able to be consumed in a daily basis has never been seen before, and that continues to increase. Daily, monthly, weekly, and so it's a matter of understanding which of that correct information is the way to be consumed. So it's that also is an aspect that AI has to be able to filter out, and we're working on getting there.
I love it. Let's jump into the advantages, right? Like, so we're going to go to IT Nation Connect this year in November, and we're hopeful that the majority of PitchIt makes it out there. I hope everybody from our PitchIt cohort goes out there. Sam, I'm going to throw you a task item. I think you should have a PitchIt pre-celebration for all the companies to come together. Just an idea out there. I know it's like you didn't sign up for more work today on the show.
It's in the
but
works. It's in the works.
all
We'll
right,
get
all right.
something going.
I like it. I like it. But we're all going to be out there, and we're all going to be pitching our belief on where AI changes the industry. How do these startups in the Pitch It program have an advantage against some of the large companies that are going to have $500,000, $250,000, whatever amount of money they spend going to this conference? Like, where do you see them in this space compared to all these other people that for a fact they're going to have AI on their banners this year?
Yeah, I really do think that what will set you apart, and I don't want to pat ourselves on the back here, but it's a part of it's being in the Pitch It program. You do get that extra leg up, and you've already, you're able to build out that network, and especially with these startups, we've been fortunate enough to have some of our industry experts like Jay McBain come on, Heather Margolis, and we'll have even more coming on like Rob Ray. So they will take notice, and they'll recognize, especially when you guys reach out after the sessions and introduce yourself. That's one big part of it. Another part of it is that you're recognized by ConnectWise for being in the Pitch It program. You'll get call outs. You got your own startup alley. We want to make sure that you guys are feeling special and recognized. And that's even comes down to, the Pitch It finals, which is the very first event at Connect Global. And I like to tell people it's the first bar open as well. So that always gets a nice
That
draw.
gets people going in there. Yeah. I'll bet that has something to do with Sean being in charge of the program. If I had to guess, we'll see. By the way, Brett jumped in here. It looks like, Sam, you might have to say hi to Brett when he comes into the ConnectWise office on the 13th.
Brett, I'm gonna have to let the people know. Unfortunately, I am not.
No.
I'm up in Pittsburgh, but I would love to make my way down. I'll book a flight, and I'll see if we can schedule.
We'll just expense it. We'll just expense it. Yeah. We'll just let them know we're meeting up with Brett. I would make the trip. I don't know if Sam can make the trip, Brett, but I would make the trip if you invited me. I'm just messing with you. I don't mean to put pressure on you. I'm just playing around. So we had done dozens, or not dozens, over 100 applications. We had lots of categories, lots of opportunities of learning. Without calling names, just because we don't want to give any favorites out there, what piqued your interest the most? What really made you look at a company and go, wow, that's innovation? Like, what were those either traits of the company or the problems they were solving?
Yeah, I think so. Just a little more background on me. I come from a family of startups in the MSP space, so I'm not necessarily sensitive, but I do pay attention to. I think a big thing is time saving, like you mentioned. And time, when you save time, you save money, and that can make you money in the long run. So to see how these AI companies and these just startups in general are introducing new technologies or new thought processes that come from them, whether it's an MSP background or sometimes it's not from the MSP space at all. It's good to get that kind of fresh point of view, fresh knowledge in the space, with kind of an outside the box looking in on how to fix things. So I think a big one is time saving, whether that's the security training or the sales trainings, because it's we try to do everything via email these days. You avoid meetings as much as you can, unfortunately, but I think it's important to get out there and use the time that these products are saving you to efficiently affect your company.
I like it. I think the time savings are where there is a lot of opportunity. You're seeing a lot of service desk automation. You're seeing a lot of triage and troubleshooting and dispatch being solved. You're still not seeing Sam Hoyen book his flight yet, but we'll see. I don't know. Keep pressuring him here. So you're seeing a lot of really cool emerging stuff out there. What did it make the bar this year? I'm curious. Like what kind of application? Not to call again people out, but like what was the things that you looked at and you go, just doesn't make the bar for PitchIt?
Yeah, so we get a lot of companies that, and this is also part of AI, is they just look up on Google like, hey, what are some grants? What are some sales competitions that we can get into? And we try to filter that out as best we can to just keep it to the MSP space. But every once in a while, we'll get some albeit good ideas, but it's like I'm not really sure what to do with solar powered bikes
Yeah.
that you can sell. And I'm sure it's a great idea. But as far as the MSP space goes, we see an influx like of these AI companies, and we want to establish that they're the repeat of what we feel has already been done, and there's not necessarily an improvement being made, right? We want to be at the forefront of the MSP space. We want to be the ones leading the charge into the next realm. And so when we're looking through these applications, there is some opinion to it where it's if we feel like it's been done before, if there's not necessarily an improvement, right? I can go out there and make another Google and just create a search engine with a database, right?
Yeah.
And I'm not necessarily improving on anything. So we want to see that you are, making these leaps and bounds.
Yeah, I love it. The businesses are here. They're not just at IT Nation. They're building right now, and they're trying to grow their companies right now. Why should an MSP track these companies before they hit the trade show? Like, what should they be doing if they see something of interest? How should they be getting engaged? Should they go call you, say, connect me to the founders? Like, what's the best way for an MSP who sees one of the companies in the PitchIt program to get involved?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, reach out to me, please do, because I would love to get you connected with any of these founders. But this cohort, I think more than ever, has been active on LinkedIn, posting about the educational sessions, and posting about themselves. It used to be a bit taboo to advocate for yourself in a certain sense. It was always better to find someone else, but that pride, that self-confidence is very real today, and it's something that is important. So it's a matter of just keeping in touch with PitchIt and kind of understanding the branches that go out from there, because obviously all our companies are very involved with posting for themselves, getting themselves out there, because they are trying to make those waves. And look, a rising tide floats all boats. So if one company can kind of get that recognition, it's one domino falls and the next one goes, and next thing we know, we've got 15 of our 20 companies being posted about, talked about, and they're at IT Nation getting thousands of leads.
I love it. I think there's probably a lot of managed service providers out there, at least maybe in the network, that may not join live today, but we'll see this newsletter tomorrow. What should they do if they want to get involved with PitchIt? Maybe they're big enough that they don't want to take a risk until a startup has a few years of reps under them, but they want to get involved. How should they get involved? And what could they get involved with too, Sam?
Yeah. So the great part about these startup companies is that the growth is still there, right? And if you are an MSP and you have an interest in one of these companies, make your voice be heard. They want to know how to improve. They want to know how to get involved more in the MSP space. So if you see something, let's just say it's an AI help desk, and you're like, well, I think that this could be done better, and I think this is an important product or service that could be added. Make your voice be heard. Comment on their posts. Make it a community. We want this to be a community. Make yourself be heard, and go up, introduce yourselves, because I know that our startup companies will do the exact same. They're more than willing and take action all the time to go up to these MSPs and make their voice be heard.
I like that. It sounds like there's an opportunity to get involved by just reaching out. Is there an opportunity to get involved in PitchIt if they're an MSP that wants to be able to help with the program, or are there opportunities for that?
Yeah, absolutely. You can reach out to myself or, basically anybody at ConnectWise I know will be more than happy to turn you over for the PitchIt program. But if you are at IT Nation Connect in November, go check out that startup alley. Go see them. And, if you want to even host a session, you want to become a Cameo coach because you think you have something relevant in the MSP space that these startup vendors need to learn, I'm here for it. I'm not really the one to turn anybody away because I think all education is good.
I love it, Sam. Well, look, we are at the 52-minute mark here. We have got a few more minutes, so I'm going to hit the rapid fire wrap up segment before we sign off. I'm curious, I think you know the rules, but I'll reframe them in case you don't remember from a handful of weeks ago. It was very simple. You have as long as you want to think about the questions, but you still have to answer them in one sentence only. So, Sam, as we get started, just kind of an easy one, I think. Well, I don't know. We'll see. One trait. Oh, wait, real quick. Brett says, do you need judges or have you figured out the judges this year for the competition?
Brett, I will be in touch. We have some ideas, but you know what? We love taking on more.
All right, Brett, drop your email in chat and we'll get you connected to Sam here. All right, back to the rapid fire wrap ups. Or Brett, I'll get you connected to Sam. I don't know why I just told you to do that. I know both of you guys. One trait that every great founder of the cohort shares.
Confidence in themselves and confidence in their products.
I like it. You got to have both of those. One AI startup cliche that you're tired of hearing.
That's a tough one. Man, I'm going to say.
Why didn't I give you? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going to say that, and this would be more of a quote from them, is that, this AI hasn't been made before, and we're doing what others don't. It happens.
Mine, I like that one. I think that's a good one to call out. My other one was going to be the AI do anything machine, the one that oh yeah, it does this and it does that and it does this and it does that. Oh, help desk triage, we do that too. Knowledge base, we do that too. No, just because you can build it at breakneck speed doesn't mean you do it. All right, sorry, that's I normally, I'm just going to reject on that one. All right. Build, buy, or partner. Where should MSPs lean in 2026? This is a tough one. This question has never been more prominent.
It is a bit of a double-edged sword because there is no wrong answer. I'm a firm believer of partner in 2026, just with how these companies can grow and how rapidly they can grow. It's always better to get involved and, to build a partnership, because I'd rather have anybody, make 100 friends than 100 sales in the first days.
Yeah, I like it. Ooh, yeah, I like that one. Connor jumped in. The quality that they share, the fine line between humility and hubris. Also a bit of insanity. I would say that's about right, Connor. But I don't know. As a Midwesterner, I lean on the humility side, but as a founder, you got to be on the hubris side. I will say one of our new interns, I got to bring this one in. His name's Felipe. He has a saying back from where he's in Colombia, and I'm using this now more often. He goes, I'd rather stop an insane person than get a lazy person to start working. So I kind of like that one. I was like, you know what? I'd rather stop an insane worker than getting a lazy worker going. So I don't know. I'm going to throw that out there. I think insanity is just the right amount of what you need in today's era.
Yes.
All right. This is a big one. Most AI startups won't exist in 3 years. True or false?
I'm going to say false because I just have that confidence in our startups within the PitchIt cohort that they will be around for the years to come.
The next ConnectWise, Kaseya, Datto, Pax8, are they in this cohort? Do you agree or disagree?
Yes,
I like it. Look at
that. They're always in this cohort. They were in last year's cohort, and they were in the cohort before that.
I like it. See, Sam, it's a freebie for you. All right, the last one before we sign off. An AI startup is worth your attention when?
Now and always. You got to stay involved and you got to keep up because AI, like you said, is ever changing.
Connor, steal it. I'd rather stop a hardworking, insane person rather than push a lazy one too. That's a great way to tie off the show here, Sam. Thank you so much. I know we got thrown off on the timing. We got Sean who bailed on us because Sean's better than us, according to him. That's what I got the text word for word. He said he's better than me. No, I did say that. I'm just kidding. I love Sean. But it's good to see you here. Sam, at the very end, I know you did it last time, and I know you did a little bit during the show. We always close off with a shameless plug. So let us know your shameless plug. How can people get hold of you? How should they get involved with PitchIt? And we'll put this out to everybody next.
Yeah, reach out to me, please, via email. If you see me out at the events, come up to me, just talk to me. And I want you guys to be involved with PitchIt. If you are an MSP, tell me what your ideas are. And if you want to be involved as a Cameo coach, I always appreciate any education that we might not have had already.
With that said, we'll sign off. Cheers, Sam. Make sure you and Brett get connected together. Bye, everybody.